Hey everyone, Dijana Kunovac here for Inside Carolina TV. I'm joined by Rob Harrington. We're in Chicago, Illinois, as you can tell by the backdrop at McDonald's All-American Week. Gotten to see a lot of guys, all three of Carolina's signees here. Let's talk about this event first, Rob, and how you feel like it prepares these guys for the next level of play.
I love this event for the practices and the scrimmages.
Yeah.
I've been very clear and adamant about this for years now, basically because the game itself is very ragtag, and everyone knows that. But as a litmus
ragtag, I like that.
as a litmus test for college, the practices are great because the last time these guys have played against each other was last summer.
Yeah.
So you're moving the clock 9 months. Everyone has had another almost full year of physical development and skill development. So I think it's great preparation for them now, 6 months away from the start of practice.
Let's just dive right into all the Carolina guys, starting off with Theo Pinson, a guy that we've talked about him all week, has stood out to you the most on the defensive side of things, ball movement and everything. Talk about his performance, assess it, if you will, and what you've seen from him so far. Assess it, of course, what you do.
Of the three, I think Theo has been the most confident and assertive. He's the one player of the three perimeter signees for the Tar Heels who can create his own shot off the dribble without a screen. And that's really helped him here because the wings are loaded.
Yeah.
It's a very strong wing class, and especially in this game, so there are no down matchups for the wings. And I think that his athleticism has been evident from the first jump ball, and that he's been effective getting in the lane. He's made really nice passes out of it. We're not even talking about his defense, and that's normally what we talk about, as you mentioned. He's been good defensively, but offensively, I think he's really made strides over the past 9 months.
I think fans have seen his athleticism in the dunk competition. I even asked him in a contest between him and JP Tokido, who's the best dunker. He didn't hesitate, JP Tokido, but I still give Theo props. He's doing pretty well. You talked a little bit about his offensive game. How far along do you think his three-point shot has fallen? Because he's talked about wanting to improve that and being more of a scoring threat a lot this season.
He's certainly shot it very well his senior year. Now, the question is, how will that translate against high major closeouts and against the kinds of athletes and that length at the next level? I think his open shots, I feel pretty confident at this point he's going to make those. The question is what happens when he's contested. If it's
you put a defender on him.
One or two dribbles, is he going to hit that shot? I think that question will be answered later. But I think certainly as a spot-up shooter, he has made clear strides over the past year, 2 years.
That's good. I think fans will definitely like to hear that. Let's switch gears a little bit, talk about Justin Jackson, a scorer. I talked to him earlier this week, and he just said that basically that's what he wants to do. He wants to come into Carolina with a scoring mentality. So how have you seen him perform so far this week?
He's been a little more quiet than Pinson has been, but not bad.
Like his personality, ironically. All right.
Right. This isn't a great format for him because he needs to move without the ball. He needs structure. He needs catches where he's ready to shoot. He's not a guy you pass it to in the wing and he jukes someone and he creates a shot. But he has been effective finishing around the rim. He's made really skillful passes, and he hasn't made a lot of mistakes. Now, he has been a presence. He hasn't been a dominant presence, but he has been a presence, and he's been economical and efficient like always.
It's interesting. He told me that at one point they had him playing at the 4. I didn't even think that was possible. Could you see him playing that if necessary? Because Roy Williams has been known to move his guys around to fit what he needs.
I think possibly as a sophomore.
Okay.
I think this year physically he's just not there yet. He had to do that some in practice because another player was injured. But I think that was illuminating because he struggled defensively playing power forward against Kevon Looney, a really good player going to UCLA. So I think he's going to be a wing for certain next year. I could see it in spots as a sophomore if they go small, especially if people are going to zone Carolina because he's such a good scorer from the high post, and he's so good off the catch there. I think it'll be interesting to see how they use him. So, yes, 24 months from now, but probably not 12 months or 9 months.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Kevon. Justin even said that he had trouble with him in practice. That was the first guy that he said gave him a lot of trouble. Final guy, Joel Berry, has struggled a little bit here. I didn't get to watch him too much, but I'm seeing he had some trouble with Tyler Ulis, and he even admitted that he had trouble with him, that Tyler was kind of a pest. How would you assess his performance?
He definitely is more of a quarterback type who commands Respect from his teammates. He manages the game over a long period of time. He isn't a burst type of player in this setting where he's going to score a lot of points and make a lot of plays. I thought that he recovered a little bit late in the practices and started to look a little bit more confident. But as you mentioned, this wasn't his best week for sure.
I think, and I spoke with him, I think he is more of a distributor, because we've discussed this before and you've said it. He distributes the ball more in AAU ball, and then he's much more of a scorer on his high school team. And I asked him, well, which one is it, Joel? And he said he feels a lot more comfortable running the team and being that leader and distributing it. So I think these type of events are a little hard for those kind of guys.
Especially because he doesn't have the familiarity to his teammates. He doesn't know how to get it to them in spots where they're comfortable. It's more just he's being unselfish, but he's not making the aggressive passing plays that he'll make for Carolina.
All right, final question. Now that you've seen these three guys in just a few short months, they'll be at Carolina. Who do you see making an immediate impact when they get there?
I have been on the Justin Jackson train for 2 years, but I might reverse course in Thea Pinson's favor, because I think that he's the most explosive right now. And I think Jackson, as he gets stronger, the difference, he's a little taller and longer than Theo. I think he's a little bit more of a pure offensive player, but Theo's explosive athleticism, I think, might make him the earliest impactor of the freshmen.
And I think Justin would be a great guy, starting off, coming off the bench, being the catch and shoot guy and being that scoring that they need. He's
such an efficient player. I agree that would work better for someone like him than Theo, who's sort of more voluminous.
That's a good way.
And he's a little more mistake prone too, and so he probably needs time to work through those, whereas Jackson will come in more polished.
And how do you see these guys fitting in, quickly into the roster next year?
I think, certainly the two wings will play. We know Pinson and Jackson will play. Probably one of them will start. I think Barry is going to be in more of a dogfight because they're the best player on the teams at his position, plus Nate Britt.
Marcus Schmarcus. No, I'm just kidding.
but he'll play too, and I think that he'll give the backcourt more of a defensive muscularity when they've lacked it this past season. I think that he'll help there.
All right. Well, from Chicago, Illinois, for Inside Carolina TV, alongside Rob Harrington, I'm Dijana Kunovac. Thanks, everyone.